Going live. We are live. Give it a second and let everybody get in here for a minute.
We're live and alive, I think.
Heck yeah, that's saying a lot these days.
Yeah.
I'm honored tonight to have Lewis from nerdreport.com. If it's nerdy and you claim to be a nerd and you cool, then you need to be reading nerdreport.com. Check him out daily. Had the luxury, he's out in the big state of California and Los Angeles, Hollywood, insider scoop on the industry. He's interviewed countless big stars. I mean, thank you so much, Lewis, for taking your time out of your busy schedule and joining us for a live, because we really need to answer this question for people is what should people be binge watching? And I want to know everybody that's watching this, that's tuning in, share it, invite your friends, send it in Messenger, share it in your groups, and comment on what you are binge watching, and we'll talk about that too. So what have you been watching, Lewis?
Hey, listen, let's talk a little bit about what I'm going to start watching, because the fact of the matter is a little streaming service just was released called what is it? HBO Max, correct?
Yeah.
It was released yesterday. I looked at the list. Godzilla is in the house. War of the Gargantuas is there.
Wow.
What more do you want to go retro with all these monsters? You can see the evolution of Godzilla. I'm not sure if the 54 film is there, right? Is it 54? I may be wrong on a couple things, but you guys will correct me. But yeah, you could see the evolution of Godzilla from threat to Tokyo, threat to the world, to constantly the design, getting the big bubbly eyes to appeal to the children. Be it from bad guy to good guy, back to bad guy to anti-hero, to all that. But I want to give a real big shout out is to War of the Gargantuas. No one knows that movie. Well, people know it, but then they don't know that movie. Are you familiar with that, Dr.
Yeah, of course.
Sergeant Horror? Yeah. So that one's a creepy one. That one scares the hell out of everyone, man. There's some brutal shots there.
The behind the scenes stills from that with the guys without their mask on looks crazy. And then you got like the old vintage toys from that movie. You know, they sell pretty pricey on eBay for what they are.
Yeah, and also the poster. If you get the poster is amazing. I don't know if you're able to pull stuff up here, but if you are, or if you guys want to Google it later, I see the toys here on eBay. The poster is amazing. I'm sure they're reprints and stuff, but I mean, they don't make posters like they used to at all. The posters nowadays are just bad Photoshop. I don't know why they can't just imitate the stuff from the 50s and 70s, even 80s and 90s looks better. 80s, mid 90s when they started to get whack. But for the sheer awesomeness of the artwork, because these are actually paintings. They look like someone painted these posters, and there's an artist behind it, and they look great, man. They look great. And War of the Gargantuas, that the vintage posters, I think is good for like almost $800. But
wow,
that is something you do want to binge. I'm surprised no one cosplays this, but I guess it's too old, right?
Sorry. Yeah, I think a lot of the newer generation, are kind of need to rediscover a lot of these movies. I just wanted to Cody tuning in. Hello, Cody. Appreciate
what up, Cody?
Genevieve says not scary, but I binge watched Sandation. I haven't seen that. But we're not limiting ourselves tonight to just scary stuff. If it's good and you binge watched it, because if you're a horror fan, at this point in the quarantine, you've done watched American Horror Story for the 5th time. You've done watched Dexter. You've done watched maybe Penny Dreadful. I mean, there's not much, the new Psycho is good. I mean, and you probably watch Castle Rock on Hulu. So now you're reaching out there for something to watch. And then whatever you've been watching, we definitely want to hear about it. Charles Marcus says, how are you guys doing? We're doing great, Charles. Hope you are. Gina says, hey, Louis.
Gina! How are you? Miss you
Liz
guys.
says, "What's up, guys? What's up, Liz?" And everybody tuning in, share this up, and comment. What are you watching? Now, I'll tell you what is one of my top favorite of all time reality shows.
Never got into those that much. I got to be honest with you.
And I'm binging it right now. You go probably laugh, but I love that $1 Million Listing, especially the Los Angeles one where they showed them big fancy houses for $50 and $20 million out there in LA.
Back in the day, there was a thing called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Kind of sounds like what you're talking about. You remember that one?
Yep. Robin Leach. Join us for the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. He had that British accent or something like that.
Right. And people used to watch that. I was like, why are you guys watching this? Don't watch it. Work to become the rich and famous, man.
Heck yeah.
Be it.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to have to get me, hopefully, if these people share this up enough, I have to get me like $1 million pad out there in LA and invite everybody that watched the live feed to come out and party.
Have you been to LA?
Yes. I premiered a couple movies out there, walked down the red carpet down on Sunset at the DGA,
Nice.
played a couple of film festivals out there. I like to go clubbing when I go out there. The clubbing in LA, I mean, we could do a whole live feed on that. The last time I went, it's like I hired a publicist to get us into clubs because we didn't just want to go to where you could walk in. We wanted to go to the spot. If you go turn up, you got to turn up right. I mean, because nerdy people party like crazy.
I know it's a little bit off the topic. The most disappointing parties are Hollywood parties. They end at 10. I remember going to them originally. I was like, man, I got invited to executive Paramount Pictures. I'm just throwing Paramount in there, but whatever it is, it's like, man, we're going to this after party. It's going to be awesome. And it's like at 10 o'clock, everyone starts like leave. And I'm like, what the hell? It's precious. I'm used to starting the party at 2 a.m.
It's crazy. I went out there one year during the Grammys, and I got invited to a T.I. Grammy party. And
Right.
T.I. was there for like 2 minutes. I said, this thing is lame. But then I went to a breakfast, and the next morning I went to a breakfast for producers, and I was getting some breakfast and looked over, and Kanye West was standing beside me, and it wasn't even announced that he was going to be there. He's just having breakfast with us.
Yeah. They eat breakfast too?
It's amazing what you deal with a lot of these guys. They're human just like us. And
yeah, I see people like making up stuff about them. It's like, oh my God, none of this is happening. Maybe like when the actors first get into popularity, some of them go a little bit off the hinge, but after a while living in, it gets boring, man. It's just a job, and stuff like that. So
I like to come out there when I'm ready to party or when I'm ready to sell something. Or do appearances, but I couldn't live out there. Put me on my farm out here, let me watch a bunch of movies and binge watch TV and hang out and do these lives, and I'm content.
Yeah. How's the weather over there?
Raining. We had a hurricane off the coast, so
right.
It's been crazy. Charles said he's been doing good. Glad you guys are doing well. He's watching Vikings over again. I know it isn't hard, but he loves it. That's all right. We can talk about anything.
We want to go. Sometimes we want to go during this time. We want to go a little bit safe place, and maybe you want to look rewatch something that you saw a long time ago. For example, Battlestar Galactica, the reimagining that was on Sci-Fi, that was underrated. The Shield, which Eben and I always talk about, revolutionized TV, as well. Something that is good. It's nothing wrong with binge watching stuff that back then you couldn't really binge watch because the streaming services weren't around. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and now I feel like when I'm sitting in front of the TV, and you guys let us know if you feel like the same way. I feel like I got 99 channels and there ain't nothing on, kind of the quote from Jay-Z. But it's like I have Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, Tubi, Disney
Right.
Plus, and it's like I sat here and I'm like, what do I watch? One of the shows that I absolutely loved was Power, 50 Cent's show.
Yeah, my mom watches that a lot. My mom loves that show. She's always talking about it.
50 Cent is a brilliant entrepreneur. He did For Life on ABC, which is a true story about an attorney that became an attorney when he was falsely imprisoned and won his freedom back. A true story about, I think Isaiah Williams is the guy's name that it's based on. Tremendous TV show. And I love The Wire. You mentioned The Shield.
I heard The Wire and The Shield could go at it, like as far as how good they are. But I never got a chance to check out The Wire.
I think The Wire is better. And, people that watch The Wire, they remember the line, Omar's coming, and that's just hilarious. They'd say that when one of the stick-up kids would come along. Jim says, have you guys seen Lock and Key? I have. That's a pretty deep show.
Good stuff about that one.
Stephen King. Liz said, dude, that was good. Liz says, Binge is Nip Tuck, Good Girls, Dead to Me, and horror movies. Good Girls is good. Matthew Lillard's in that.
Yeah.
And he does a tremendous job. And that redhead is in that. I really think she's a tremendously beautiful woman. She was also on Mad Men, but I can't think of her name to save my life.
I'm looking down. I don't think I'm ignoring you guys. I'm trying to get some of the Nerd Report family in here, so you guys, the Man Monster family and the Nerd Report family, could mingle in the comments and everything. Because sometimes, they're used to going on Nerd Report. Want to get them used to coming over here as well. You know what I mean?
Marcelio says, the pig clown's talking. Glad we could entertain you.
Hey, don't call me that. Oh, you mean...
Wendell says, much love back to you, Wendell.
Thanks.
And Charles says, Good Girls is awesome. Yeah, they renewed that for a new season, but I've been trying to keep track of that. But it is what it is. Do you ever watch the first 48? That's a crazy show to binge watch too.
All right, I'll put that one on my notes. What about Bates Motel? I know I'm going back to horror, but I tend to really like horror. Bates Motel, did you give that a chance?
Yeah, I was really impressed with how they developed that story with the local marijuana industry and how the young man that played Norman Bates, he's going to be typecasted as Norman Bates for the rest of his career because he did such a magnificent job.
He was great. It's such a weird show too. You couldn't tell, in the beginning, you couldn't tell if it was set in the 60s or modern day for a while,
Have you watched Tom Hardy's show Taboo?
No. Good?
I kind of like it. It's kind of, it's dated for that period. Tom Hardy is a brilliant actor. I was really disappointed. Did you watch Capone?
I've heard mixed stuff about it. I didn't have a chance to see it. No. Good?
It's a crappy movie. Literally. He craps the bed. He craps in the chair.
Well, he's old, right?
Yeah, but I mean, they got a scene in there, not to spoil it, but he's walking around in a diaper. I mean, who greenlit that? Who the heck that movie? I mean,
Al Capone in a diaper. All right.
Like, what did the guy say? Did he walk into that fancy Hollywood office and said, I got to take on Al Capone that you'll never guess? And they'll say, what? He craps his pants. He wears a diaper. He's Al Capone.
You know what, though? It got us to talk about it. They did something right.
That's true. Charles says, yes, first 48, and Snapped is a good one, too. Dexter, always a 10-star pick. I like Dexter.
Did Dexter to you, did it stick to landing? Did the ending satisfy you?
Not really. Dexter, I could never fully get into Dexter because I always remember him as the Undertaker at 6 Feet Under on HBO.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like, how do you go from being an Undertaker like that, starring in a very heavy family drama where he's a very vulnerable character, to I'm a badass serial killer that has to kill. I mean, that
Yeah.
just connect for me. I like the show. It's just in my mind, mentally, he's the Undertaker in 6 Feet Under.
What was that Netflix, The Haunting of Hill House? You should check that one out.
I like The Haunting of Hill House. They did an amazing job with that. The cinematography, that location was great. There's supposed to be a second season of that coming up.
That's weird, right? Because it's based on a novel. So are they gonna? Do you know if they're gonna be actually? It's something we didn't see in the book, or is it a new book altogether, or are the writers taking creative liberties and just expanding on the story?
I think they're taking creative liberties. I haven't really followed it that closely. Recently, I've been pretty upset about the whole fiasco about them remaking Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And but at this point, man, they've remade that like 600 times already. All right.
Yeah, I was talking to Leatherface the other day. RA, he's a great guy, and we was discussing the franchise and ranking them. We got a good article on MadMonster.com coming out on that.
Excellent.
Tomorrow, I'm going to have somebody on with me. He's also known as Michael Myers, but he's also known as a rapper, dropping some new music to Great Dag.
Yeah.
He great kid. We talked the other day. I listened to some of his music. His rap is very relevant. So for you guys watching, if y'all want to see young Michael Myers sit around and talk with us about some horror stuff and music stuff, hit the reminder notice on the live feed scheduled.
Yeah, Deg Farish. His last name I can't pronounce worth the life of me. Maybe I got it right. Deg.
Great Dag.
Yeah, Deg. Now Deg was in he's a great guy as well. I have him as a friend on Facebook. He does conventions. Everyone always likes him. He's a very nice guy, very approachable and stuff. So I think that's going to be a great show tomorrow.
And he's a good lyricist too. I mean, he's just as relevant as these new rappers that are coming out.
Right.
It's just a situation where it's going to be highly entertaining. I mean, a pig clown and Michael Myers. I mean, that's as good as the pig clown in the Nerd Report. I mean,
yeah.
Liz says The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. That's a good one. And no way, which one did he play?
He played Michael Myers on in the first Rob Zombie film.
Yep. 6 Feet Under, best series finale. Jack Ryan. They did a great job with Jack Ryan on Amazon. Mm-hmm. And as a former Marine, well, you're not really a former Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Correct.
I love it when they get military stuff right. And that guy from The Office is a total badass as a military guy. Umbrella Academy, that was cool.
The Umbrella Academy was there's an ape in it, and that ape is animated. The animation is amazing. The CG is amazing, and you could thank Weta Studio, who did Planet of the Apes, the new Matt Reeves one. So that's why it looks fantastic.
Wow. And The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? I haven't seen that one, Jim. Have you? Charles says, how do you hit the reminder? You go to the Mad Monster Facebook page. You'll see it scheduled, a picture of my pretty mug and a picture of the Great Dag's pretty mug. And just hit.
You could also go to the YouTube.
Yep, you go to the Mad Monster YouTube and get it. We're on both platforms. However, if you prefer watching it on YouTube, jump on our YouTube channel. And if you enjoy watching these live feeds, definitely go look up Nerd Report and also subscribe to that because I enjoy it. You've had me on there before.
Yeah, we should have you on more often, actually. But I know there's a time schedule difference because you're in a different time zone, right?
Yeah, I'm in North Carolina. We're about 3 hours behind you.
Yeah.
Charles says, okay, thanks, guys. And if you guys watching, let us know, what have you been binge watching? What is your go-to? I mean, do you prefer Netflix? There's a ton of free horror movies on Tubi. You know, Tubi was bought by Fox, I believe. which was a pretty good investment. And Disney owns Hulu, so with Disney have a Disney plus Hulu. Now I know you watched. When I mentioned Disney, you watched The Mandalorian, right?
Hell yeah.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah, well, Baby Yoda is. I hope they don't overdo Baby Yoda, but Baby Yoda is icing on the cake. I love what they did with Mando, and I think first seasons of anything is very difficult to pull off. You got a good first season, you got a real that's the hardest part, because first season, they produce it, they direct it. Second season's usually better if the show's a hit, because they see what people like and they give you more of that. Here, they knew what people liked from the beginning, at least most people. What do you think?
Now, I don't watch it because I don't do that whole. I didn't. Y'all gonna be mad at me, but I mean, hell, I'm a clown. I don't do the Star Wars stuff. George Lucas, you ticked me off when you didn't let Luke get the girl in the first one. I was done then. Dude became a Jedi, swinging that lightsaber thing. He went in there and fought Darth Vader, only to find out the woman he loved was his sister. That's it. And you give it to the driver of the cab driver, the Uber driver, gets the girl.
You're talking about Han gets the girl?
Yeah, he was essentially the Uber driver for Luke.
Well, listen, us Uber drivers need to get the girl once in a while, man. You know what I mean? What do you have against us?
Well, they should have gave Luke a woman at the first one, not let it be like, oh, that's your sister. You kissed your sister.
Luke's in love with the Force.
May the Force be with him, then.
Yeah.
Charles said Mrs. Maisel is on Amazon Prime. Sarah, welcome, Sarah. Glad you could join in. She's on American Horror Story. What's your favorite season of American Horror Story?
I have not really watched season by season. I've seen episodes, and I like what they've done with it, but I haven't had a chance to consistently watch it. But I do admire the fact that they go pretty creepy, man. They go pretty creepy. It's still kind of network television, sort of, even though it is paid television. And I remember I was pleasantly surprised how creepy they go and how much they push the envelope as far as gore, and just like, the murder stuff we love.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Angel said she liked The Terrifier. It was pretty gore and twisted. Sarah said she liked Star Wars but loves Star Trek. Now I got a question for everybody watching. It's a question for you too.
Yeah.
We mentioned The Mandalorian, Baby Yoda. If you could have two pets, only one pet, and it was between Baby Yoda and a Mogwai, for Gremlins, whatever that little furry thing was from Gremlins.
Yeah.
Which one would you pick?
Baby Yoda. All the way.
I haven't watched the show. You can get Baby Yoda wet and it wouldn't be no consequences if you spilled a glass of water around him, right?
Yeah, you put water on a Mogwai and what do you get? A zillion ugly creatures. They don't even look like the Mogwai.
And you can't be after dark, so you got to lock the cabinets up.
Too much responsibility. I think Baby Yoda is going to grow up and be his own man or person. We don't know if it's male or female right now.
Michael said Ozark was good. The series You was a fun binge. You was creepy as heck. The Guy in You, have you seen that?
No.
It's on Netflix. It's one of these stalker flicks. And this guy does.
Yes, I've seen that one. That one is crazy, bro. That is a crazy one. This is the one where the guy, his imagination's nuts, right? It's just, yeah, it's pretty crazy stuff. They had an actor I liked in there. I forgot it. The guy that I think that plays Penguin in Gotham got a part in there. I believe that's a great show. Did I freeze? No.
Nope. Michael says he likes both Star Wars and Star Trek.
They're different. They're just in space.
Michael says he would take a Mogwai. Yoda isn't cuddly. I guess if Cuddles was on your list. Liz says she wants a Groot. And that would be pretty cool, a little baby Groot. Angel says Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
The Walking Dead was good until you know exactly. I
What's
mean, when they stopped making Walking Dead about zombies and it became about humans.
Yeah, and the excuse is that was never a zombie show. Well, there's like 100 zillion other shows I could watch that are much better that are not about zombies. So why should I watch this one?
Gina says yes, he was in season 2. Lewis.
Yeah. That is a great show. Ultimate Stalker. It's set in LA, so that's kind of cool because I kind of like. I think I saw places I recognize, unless I'm just imagining things. But yeah, it's great stalker. The guy does a great job as a stalker, man.
And it goes to show you with social media, people can stalk you up and all crazy. And I like that little room he had built with the clear walls that he could put people in.
Yeah, people that kind of like, could really mess him up. And that's where the actor from Gotham was stuck in.
Now, you talking about throw back up old shows. One of my favorite old shows of all times is David Carradine and Kung Fu.
Yeah.
That's an amazing show. And I love The Fall Guy with Lee Majors and Gomer Pyle, USMC, and the A-Team.
Yeah, but those shows, they had a different format. Almost like I don't remember the previous episodes connecting to each other. Am I wrong about that?
The A-Team, it kind of, they tried to weave a story in, but it was mainly mission to mission to mission with little bits up to time.
A lot of the shows back then, they had like their pilot, and then they had their overall story, but the story never really progressed. It was like the how would I say, situation of the week, and then like they never really connected, and then the ratings dropped. Cut, no ending, no finale, nothing. Remember that?
Now, The Sopranos is an amazing show. I've been thinking about rewatching The Sopranos. It's so sad that we lost James Gandolfini. He was a great actor, but The Sopranos is amazing.
Yeah, and then that's the show pretty much that started the entire like television revolution, in my opinion. Like I said, shows were kind of like you didn't really have to watch every single episode to enjoy them, to see what's going on. But Sopranos started like the serial where they're all connected and you couldn't miss one episode. And you know what I mean? Unlike the A-Team, which was product of its time.
Yeah. The same thing, like you said, with Kung Fu is, he got kicked out of China and came over to the U.S. and then it was just situation to situation.
Right.
And The Sopranos had me glued because it was like a modern day Godfather every day, and The Godfather is one of my favorite non-horror movies.
Even 3?
I tell you, I like them all.
Yeah, 3 was weird.
they keep pushing, like try to keep pulling out, but they keep bringing me back in.
Yeah.
Then he gets the diabetic shock thing.
I agree with Angela here, Gonzalez. She says The Haunting of Hill House was phenomenal. I can't wait till they make a second season. I think the first season was phenomenal. The way they kind of like in an age of jump scares that are very predictable, in my opinion, they chose not to have many of them. They did have 1 or 2, but they were shot in a way that they were really surprising because you wouldn't have any jump scares. And I love, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, how like they'd have the 2 main characters talking. I don't even know how to explain this. And then in the background, there'd be some creepy stuff going on. I love that you'd miss. Like if you're not paying attention to every frame in the movie, in the show, you'd miss it. And it was great. Did you get a chance to check out Dr. Sleep?
I just didn't like the trailer to that. I thought it just didn't.
Same director as Haunting of Hill House.
Oh,
Yes. I please do me a favor, man. We're friends on Facebook. Watch the director's cut of that. Theatrical's fine as well. Watch the director's cut and let me know what you think.
gotcha. I will.
Yeah.
Michael says The Sopranos is good, but super shitty ending. Exactly. That's kind of like Game of Thrones. I love Game of Thrones, but the ending sucked.
So it's Mike Flanagan is the director of Haunting of Hill House and the guy who brought Dr. Sleep. So check him out.
Dr. Sleep was great. Love how they blended The Shining into it.
Beautiful.
The second season of Mando has Bubba
Fett.
Fett. I thought
Okay, yeah, I could take this one.
Sparks for a second.
Jim says second season of Mando has Boba Fett, Rebels characters, and Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano from Clone Wars. Very exciting.
Yeah.
Clone Wars had a really good ending.
Yeah, when I was reading that, I thought Bubba Sparks. I was like, I didn't think he's on the farm somewhere rapping still, probably. He was with I think the Yin Yang twins a little bit. I forget he had a grill. That's Paul Wall with the grills. Anyway, I digress. Yeah. And that's one of the things, I hate when you talking with people and they're like, oh yeah, I love Star Wars and Star Trek, and they say it to be cool. Yeah. If I don't like it and I don't watch it, I tell you, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to Star Wars.
Well, wait a minute. Some people say they don't like Star Wars because they want to be cool. Goes both ways.
I watched the first one, and my thing is, if Lucas would have gave him the girl, then I would have been in it. I would have been to watch the next.
He was making it up as he went.
Yeah. Dr. Sleep was great, Jim said. Have you watched The Grudge, the remake of The Grudge, or reboot?
Is that the one with the lady from the one that came out this year?
Yep.
I love what's her name?
Lynn Shay.
I love her. I interviewed her for it. But that movie, man, where was The Grudge? There was nothing in there. I don't know what it was about.
It was where they had the house you couldn't go into.
No, I know, but I'm being sarcastic. There was no plot in the movie. Yeah. What is it? Am I wrong?
It's like somebody touched a girl's leg in Japan and she supposedly brought it, but that was one of the biggest disappointing movies.
You could have a great little horror movie like that, a remake. It doesn't matter, but you got to try. It felt like there was no budget. I don't know what was going on, but the film was like a nothing burger. And Lynn Shay was there. Is that where you pronounce her name? Lynn Shane.
Yeah,
she's amazing. I love her in the other films, Insidious, and she's always nice. But come on,
she plays the same character in every movie. She has that same psycho look, which I like that because that's her signature. I'd be spooked. She spooks me out. I'd run. That was that was going to be good. I was rooting for it, and then I was like,
yeah.
Have you watched any of the new Twilight Zones? Jordan Peele.
Yeah, I gave up after a while. I didn't feel like they were on par. They were over preachy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I agreed with the politics in there or I disagreed. There's plenty of movies I disagree with the politics. There's plenty of movies I agree with the politics. The only problem is you got to be kind of clever in delivering that message or kind of like mask it with other stuff. And this thing was just like relying too much in your face with the politics first. And then the Twilight Zone was like an afterthought. So that's the way I thought it was, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'm hoping season 2 will be better because I like Jordan Peele. I'm rooting for you, Jordan, and I want you to do a good job. Rod Sterling has some big shoes to try to fill. In the trailer, they had HAL 9000 kind of like a
Yeah,
Easter egg.
you guys covered that on manmonster.com. Good job. You guys are like the best at this stuff, picking out the great nostalgic things from horror movies and classic cinema and stuff like that. I can't compete with that, man. You guys got Eben on your side.
Yeah,
Damn, I'm gonna have to buy him.
We got a top-notch team that
Yeah.
helps us out, and it's amazing the attention to detail and watching these things. And Stanley Kubrick, he was just Jordan Peele. He always likes putting these Stanley Kubrick Easter eggs in there, and it just cracks me up because Stanley was such a crazy person if you talk to the people that worked with him.
Yeah. He destroyed everything he wouldn't use. So everything you see, there was never, from what I understand, there's no deleted scenes that you could see or anything because he was known for having hundreds of takes of the same scene over and over and again. You know what I mean?
Liz said the Grudge remake sucked. We agree.
Liz, how do you really feel?
Don't hold it back. Thoughts about another Scream movie?
Oh, yeah. Why not?
No.
Why not?
Wes Craven's gone.
Yeah, true that. But, I like Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. I thought that was great. I mean, as long as you keep the spirit, the rules implemented from you gotta okay, so this is what's wrong with remakes and continuations. Sometimes the directors, writers go in there and they go, we want to do Scream. Okay, cool, but we have a twist. Okay, what is it? The killer does not wear a mask. Well, wait, that's the whole point. The killer knows nothing about movies or riddles. Bro,
Yeah.
That's not Scream. So when you're getting a property and reinvent, you got to follow the rules that were established in the original, and then you're good. The only time you change it is if something is outdated, for its time, because things do age, right? And then they don't make sense. You modernize it a little bit, maybe, not too much, not like Halloween Resurrection. Remember that, where Michael Myers was inside a reality show?
Oh,
because remember, but it was during that time reality shows were big, and then H2O was Scream. Remember? Yeah. H2O was a Scream knockoff. So if you get
when did H2O where they CGI the mask because they had a rights issue with the mask.
Let's talk about that in a little bit. But as far as Scream, I'm good for it. But about Michael Myers' mask, what a nightmare throughout the ages. Oh, they could never get it right, man. I think they should call you to do one. Honestly.
I'd love to do a movie with Blumhouse. I got some stuff I could probably do cheaper than what they're doing now and make them more money, horror movies are simple. And I think that's the problem. It's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's my favorite movie ever.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Oh, it scared the hell out of me, dude.
They go up in a house, they get killed. Okay, so then they try to say, well, why is Leatherface killing people? So when they did the remakes, they said he's got a skin condition. Then in the Leatherface one that Millennium Films did, they filmed it in Bulgaria, which I will always give them crap for that because you should never do a Texas Chainsaw Massacre not in Texas. That's just, I understand they want to make money. I understand Millennium has a studio in Bulgaria and everything's set up, but hire somebody. To be honest, if I had a property like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this is what I would do. I would hold a screenwriting competition. Every horror fan for like $25 could submit their script and pick one of the scripts that was submitted from that screenwriting contest to reboot that series. I think that would be better than hiring two writers that know nothing about the franchise that just want to add a twist.
That's what I'm saying, because you said about Wes Craven and Scream, right? You got to have someone that wants to mimic his style. Sorry, that's what it is. It's his style. It's what he created. and that's what the fans want. Oh, but we want to change
Yeah.
things. We don't want to do this. Well, then don't make Scream. Make something else. You know what I mean? Scream's already has its rules. It has its environment. It has what it is. It has a look, and you got to keep it that way. So I think this is going to be a good movie because it's been a while, and I think fans are hungry for it. Now I'm going to ask you another question, and it's linked to the binging. Have you guys in the comments, people watching, and you, Sergeant Horror, have you watched the Scream season 1 on MTV?
No.
Pretty good.
Nope.
Pretty good, man.
Is
it's
it
good? Yeah, it's very good. I don't know about.
I might have to check. I might have to check that out. Let me go up here to some of the comments. We got some comments rolling in. Jim says, "Watch the original Grudge." I have that in. I agree with you. The Grudge with Sarah Michelle Gellar is much better.
It's a remake of a remake, you know.
Yep. Sarah says, "I find the Japanese horror films are scarier." That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, the Korean version. That's a cool one. Even the remake of that wasn't bad. One of the best movies ever. They're looking at a new Scream if they can get Neve Campbell back.
She's been confirmed to come back.
Yeah, if you look in IMDb, this for the past couple of months, and I never really made a big deal about it because IMDb can always be off. But if you look in IMDb Pro, she was the first one added onto the IMDb. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't think anybody would add her on IMDb to a Scream 5 unless somebody's at least made a serious offer to their agent and had at least a counter offer. Strangers. One of the most underlooked horror movies. Creepy. Us creep me out. Sarah said, yes, love Scream season 1.
Here, check out this mask.
Oh, my.
It's from the studio.
Strangers. I like that movie.
I'll tell you what didn't stick to landing was It Chapter 2. I wish it would have been a little more, the director would have had more creative leeway there. Because I'm hearing that the book wasn't, the second half is not the greatest. Am I wrong?
What was this again? I'm sorry.
Well, It Chapter 1 was great. It Chapter 2 was good. And I wish It Chapter 2 was great. But I always hear that the book wasn't, the second part of the book was a little iffy. And there's an ongoing joke in the movie that Stephen King and ending the movie, he has problems doing that or ending the stories. Did you watch those?
Which one was these? I'm trying to.
It Chapter 1 and 2.
I couldn't get into Chapter 2.
2 was iffy.
Yeah, one was it was creepy, but I felt like the filmmakers had a good character with Pennywise, but they overplayed their hand by overexposing him.
I felt in the second one he wasn't in it enough.
And the whole red balloon thing and it bounced back too much. It lost me. I'm not a huge Stephen King fan. I think he's very flowery with his writing, and he's kind of stuck on himself when it comes to writing. He does have a twisted mind, and he does make a lot of money on it, so I can't hate on him for that.
Yeah.
Joseph said the Scream the series was good, taking it in a completely different direction. And Carl Young, absolutely young. Agreed, they would have done better, but I liked the ending. Loved it. Yes. It Chapter 2 was slow. True. And part 1 of it did great with the death of Georgie scene. Yes, it did, sir. It definitely did.
Georgie.
Yeah, we all float down here. They needed a red
float too.
They needed to do like a It South. Do a redneck version of It. Have a redneck video eyes.
Texas Chainsaw It Massacre. Texas It Massacre.
You know, when you're up north, you'll float up there. When you're down here, you'll drown down here. You know, I don't know.
What's the deal, man? What about Rob Zombie? Rob Zombie, man. He always has that in his movies.
Yeah, but
Like the redneck version.
I feel like Rob doesn't live up to his potential. I love Rob Zombie. I'm rooting for him, but he just Devil's Rejects, great. House of a Thousand Corpses felt like two movies.
I like Devil's Rejects a lot. That's my favorite one.
I like that, and I like the first part of House of a Thousand Corpses. I didn't like the way Bill Moseley looked, and House of a Thousand Corpses with the super paleness. I liked Otis better in Devil Rejects. I didn't like how Rob, you know, I get it, he was paying homage to the Manson family, but his whole line with Otis saying, I'm the devil, I'm here to do the devil's work, that's very, very close to what Tex Watson said when he was murdering Sharon Tate. And Three from Hell was just an atrocity of a movie. I mean, I wanted to love it, but I just couldn't. And a lot of those montages reminded me of the old, you know, Manson trials when the Manson family came out and all that. But I don't think the problem, I think, and you probably know this better than I do working in the industry, is you get these big names. And when you when you have a director directing a movie, you need a producer that's going to steady his hand.
Kind of tell him to hold things back, like relax.
Yeah, and I don't think that people will stand up to like a big time director and be like, nah, maybe you shouldn't do this.
I don't consider Rob Zombie a big time director though. But I do think the movies are under budgeted. Like they seem low. When you have a sequel to The Devil's Rejects, you got to put more money into it.
No, that's that LA stuff, man.
No, it felt cheap, dude.
The union movie where you go out there and they got the craft services.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about that the film, the sound quality, the mixing, it felt homemade. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not saying throw Hollywood, because horror movies do not work when they're too expensive. They become a crap CGI shit show and they don't feel realistic. Now, there's another guy, James Wan, right? He stated in an interview once that when you throw too much money at a horror movie, they suck. Yeah. Because they start to lose the real feel to it. But Rob Zombie's stuff just feels trash production, man. Trash production. But the exception of Devil's Rejects. That was perfect.
And I like 31. Richard Brake totally saved that movie with his delivery. I asked Richard, I said, hey, any of those lines? And Richard said that Rob wrote all those lines. And that was amazing. That was some real good writing in 31, Rob. Not so good writing.
Is he watching right now? Sorry. Is Rob Zombie watching right now?
He probably is. You know, you never know. I mean, it's just the world, you know. I like to provide some input. Love them. My favorite thing about Rob Zombie is his wife, Sherry. She shows her butt in every movie, you know. And I think Sherry does great in a movie when the script calls for her to be there. When he did Halloween 2, there was too many flashbacks to Sherry and it didn't feel organic to the story.
That was bad, man.
Loved Cabin in the Woods. Angel says Three from Hell had me a bit iffy, but I love Rob Zombie, though. I love him, too. I'm cheering for Rob Zombie. I'm wanting that perfect Rob Zombie movie again, but I don't feel like it's going to happen. You know, and I love his cartoon, The Adventure. I think it's The Adventures of Super El Beasto. Love it.
Which is your favorite Rob Zombie movie?
Devil's Rejects, because
Devil's Rejects.
Sid Haig's performance in that.
Devil's Rejects, and I feel like for the Three from Hell to be a follow-up is just a tragedy. Well, I really do feel that. I feel like it should have been taken care of better.
I feel like they should have did it like 2 years after Devil's Rejects came
They
out.
waited They waited too long, and it was just like the movie feels like an afterthought. I don't know. It deserved more love.
Yep. Yep. And I would have loved, instead of them bringing Richard Brake in as trying to give him a weird character, I think that Rob should do like this weird universe thing. And he should have brought Doomhead from 31 into the Three from Hell, and that would have organically put him in the story. And then tied the two universes of 31 and Devil's Rejects 3 from Hell into the same universe, like the Conjuring movies do. You know?
Yeah, the Conjurings are all tied up. So the next Conjuring is The Devil Made Me Do It, right? Is that the title?
Yeah. Jim says he agreed Zombie is just shy of great. Liz said 3 from Hell, puke face. Jared says interested in the Stand remake. I love the original and the book was great. Whoopi Goldberg looks great in that. I haven't seen any of the cast yet, but I hope she plays a good part. Lords of Salem was pretty cool, very dark and moody, and Sharon's butt, yes. Clearly, Joseph, you have a crush on Sharon. Oh, yeah, Pinky Blinkers. That's a pretty good show. Love how they melded the modern soundtrack with the period piece. I do love that show. Have you watched that?
I have not, no. So many shows, so little time, right?
Well, have you seen Tiger King?
Yeah, I did. I'm great documentary in my opinion, but I'm disgusted if those people are making money off the backs of those poor animals. That's what I'm disgusted about. Because I hope they keep talking about making movies about it. I'm good for the entertainment value, but I hope they don't monetize it. I hope the actors, yes, but I hope the people that were behind this trash behavior towards the tigers don't profit off it, but they probably will end up doing that. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Do you think Carol killed her husband?
Man, everyone looks like they killed everyone. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's the way it was filmed. Everyone looks guilty of something in that show.
And that kid shot himself. That was so sad.
Yeah, but it also feels like everything's like it's like a cult. And then you see the other guy, which I forgot his name, with the young women that he seduces.
The guy that supposedly had money but didn't have money, but I think he's still in the bit. It all seemed like a bunch of sex pots and meth and drugs.
It seemed like some weird cult, right? Like some weird cult with the tigers and when they got to the guy from Florida, the Cuban guy, where he goes, "Hey, Scarface was based on me." That was only a little section of it because the rest of you can make a show just on that guy, but the rest of it was so weird. He wasn't even interesting compared to the other crazy stuff around that show. You know,
when you say Scarface, it made me think of Queen of the South. I like Queen of the South. That's a great show. I would definitely recommend that. I think there's a Netflix show. We mentioned The Haunting of Hill House, but there's also a Netflix show called Mary Ann that was dubbed, that was kind of have that same feel of The Haunting of Hill House. And The Heist is another show on Netflix that I really enjoyed that was also dubbed.
The knock on Netflix is that they have so many shows coming out, they don't know how to promote them all. There's too many.
They definitely don't know how to promote them, and they don't know. It's like they need to get more involved with guys like us and use the internet to create awareness instead of just boom. And do you ever feel like, because I feel this way a lot, I feel like I'm sick and tired of Netflix and Amazon's algorithm trying to predict and tell me what to watch.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm a YouTuber. Like not as I YouTube, but I watch YouTube way more because I feel that it's a platform that's given the opportunity to very talented people that didn't get that break, or that, didn't know the right person, or that to create stuff, sure, there's crappy YouTubers, but I've seen some great documentaries by people I've never heard of, just guys and gals picking up a camera and writing a nice script for a documentary, and talking about it, about topics that I want to know about, that I forgot about, that I knew as a kid, and I researched this stuff. So many great things on YouTube, but they have a screwed up algorithm as well. But man, I have Netflix. I have I have Disney Plus, and I'm probably gonna have was it Max tonight? HBO Max tonight, and I still can't find.
Because I know
watch.
we tiptoed around it, but you being an expert on these type of things, what do you think of this whole Snyder cut?
I don't think we're gonna get what he intended to be released back then. I think we're gonna get an entirely different thing. I hope it's good. I love DC more than anything, and as far as comics concerned, when it's done right. I'm excited to see it, but from what I remember back when these movies were coming out, the fans weren't into them. So I don't know where this resurgence of like, this is the best thing ever is coming from. Maybe it's a case of you appreciate things when they're gone. Have you heard that saying that like you don't appreciate things until they're gone? Maybe that's the problem. The Snyder thing is an underdog fight or an underdog story, because Snyder lost his daughter and wasn't able to complete his vision. But I don't know, man. I want to see it, but I think it's going to be a different thing, and does not exist right now. The head of HBO Max said they're creating it as we speak right now. It's going to cost not $30 million, his quote. It's going to cost way more than that. So it may cost more than Joker. So
wow,
I'm thinking
Joker. I get what they were doing with Joker, that whole person going crazy thing, but I wanted to see that Jared dude play the Joker, and be badass, kill a bunch of people. Yeah.
You mean the Joker in Suicide Squad?
Yeah, with the whole grills and the green hair.
He didn't work for me. But good news for you. It's the director's David Ayer. He claims that they did fiddle with his movie a lot, so they're working on the Ayer cut, which supposedly has a lot more Jared Leto's Joker. So that's something that I'm interested to see, but I'm not particularly looking, like that's not my Joker. Maybe it is better and it's going to win me over, maybe.
And I couldn't stand, because I was like, how do you mess up a Harley Quinn movie? And they sure as hell messed up Harley Quinn with the Birds of Prey. I mean, only thing they had to do was show Harley Quinn go kick a bunch of people's butt, make it more like a Harley Quinn meets John Wick.
They did, just so you know, they did bring the choreographers from John Wick to Harley Quinn for the fight. The fights were fun, okay. Yeah. I just felt like that world is not really doesn't work for me.
I like the whole when you talk about fights, I think it's Extraction with Miley Cyrus's old boyfriend. I forget his name.
Which on boyfriend?
Miley Cyrus's old husband. Was it Chris Hemsworth or something? I don't know. But that was good. They had the best fight scenes, because I've seen people fight like that in real life, and it was amazing to see it translate there. We get to comment thoughts on Black Mirror. I haven't watched Black Mirror. Have you checked it out?
I think a while back I did. I'm at the point where I've seen so many things, man, that I was like, no, I didn't see. People will ask me about something. It's like, did you watch this show? And I'm like, no. But then I'll see a clip of it. It's like, yeah, I love that show. You know what I mean?
And that says something about the show, because a lot of times they need to make things more memorable.
Maybe the A-Team, we still talk about the A-Team, right?
Yeah, and you were spot on they always had a formula. You had to break Hannibal. Was it Hannibal?
What a great cast, man! What a great cast.
And BA never wanted to fly, and they had to always drug him. I mean,
B.A. Baracus. The movie was pretty good too, in my opinion.
I just watched a movie like less than 30 days ago. Somebody I really trusted recommended it to me, and I was pleased with that because I didn't like Rampage Jackson as a UFC fighter. And he did a great job acting in that movie, and they were true. That whole driving the tank thing or flying the tank was amazing.
Yeah, they specialize in the ridiculous.
Tasha says, how about Strangeland with D. Snyder? The problem with Strangeland, in my opinion, is it's great now, and there's a script circulating, been circulating for years for part 2 to that, and I'd love to see D do a movie. But the movie was before body modification became popular. And now everybody got the hooks through the things and face and all that, so it wouldn't be as terrifying. They'd have to do a fresh new take on that to make it relevant. Hollywood Purgatory says Chris Hemsworth. Yep.
That's Jeffrey Harris. Shout out to Jeffrey. How you doing, brother?
Extraction. See, that's what I say. Liam Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth never dated Miley Cyrus. One of them guys did. She dated some of them crazy suckers. That's Liam. Hey, I don't know it all, bro. That's why I love you guys in the comments. You keep it straight.
Yeah, I actually learned most of my stuff from the comments. I don't know anything.
It's like a current Twilight Zone. I might have to check out the Black Mirror because that's definitely something that intrigues me. I like a Twilight Zone. Homecoming is what's next up on my list on Amazon. I haven't watched season 1 or season 2.
Homecoming, huh?
And that is amazing. Julia Roberts is in the first season. And when I heard Julia was doing a Amazon show, I was like, holy moly. Years ago, you would never see these huge actors doing TV, much less now they're doing streaming. It's amazing the way the times is changing.
Well, the thing is that Netflix has $1 zillion, probably more than a lot of studios. So yeah.
And Netflix lacks, in my opinion, horror movies.
Yeah.
What Netflix needs to do, Netflix should buy Shudder because Shudder ain't hitting on much. And they also need to take part of that $1 zillion and produce like exclusive like 20 to 30 horror movies a year. And I think they would do good. But Tubi is my go-to, especially for classic horror. It's free. I like free.
The only thing is like with Shudder, like I think like for example, you get a movie there, like Hanukkah in there. And because it's more independent, and I think Netflix is going to be a little bit more. Oh, it's not part of a major, a major studio. You know what I mean? So they're going to be like hesitant. But I think Shudder, like I don't even know if this has been pitched, but Shudder will probably buy or rent something like a Hanukkah movie. And stuff like that. And I think Netflix is looking more like, hey, I'm not going to give this a chance. I'm going to go for more of a Annabelle. I want Annabelle. I want the next Annabelle, so that's the only problem with a Netflix probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with you. And plus Netflix's deliverables can be a little bit outrageous because once you film a movie and spend all the money on the movie, you got to deliver it to the distributor. And Netflix got like a 12-page deliverable sheet that might be $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. And for an independent filmmaker, that's.
Well, I mean, for an independent, they won't even look at it. They may not even look at it. So we need some small streamers in there. You know what I mean? A bridge.
Yep.
A bridge between. Yeah.
Hollywood Purgatory said that, are you related to Mad Max? I think Mel Gibson was Mad Max.
Yeah.
You sound like his southern cousin. I appreciate that, sir. Did you watch the Exorcist series?
Yes.
Yes, they did. I watched season 1. They did a great job with that.
Season 1, good. Season 2 was getting a little bit out there, but I'm curious to see, to know, Gina, did you like season 2? Did you like everything? Like season 1, the big reveal there was amazing, but I felt like it fell apart in season 2. Are you with me, or did you like it all the way through before they canceled it? Now, here's the thing. I think they canceled those shows because Disney was buying up Fox, and they got rid of 2 shows that had to do with the devil. One, The Exorcist, which you can make a case did not have great ratings. Okay, so you get rid of the one without the ratings. But the other one was Lucifer, and that had great ratings. And they both had to do with the devil. This happened during the transition. So I wonder if that had anything to do with it. Maybe I'm just crazy reading too much into it.
Yeah, I remember when Disney bought Miramax. I had a script that was optioned by Miramax way back in the day that was 420 friendly, and when they acquired Miramax, they dropped that. They were like, nope. But they wouldn't sign the release and let me continue shopping it. But they dropped it from the production slate, which sucked. Hollywood Purgatory says AMC Network's on Shudder. Gina said season 1, season 2 felt diluted.
It did. It felt like, I don't know where is this going? Does it have anywhere to go? Because I mean it was kind of hard to beat season 1 with that reveal though.
And Liz says she can't wait for the new Lucifer.
A lot of people love that show.
Yeah, I'll tell you one show that everybody loves is, or what a lot of people love, is Supernatural. They've been around for like 57 seasons.
Oh, yes.
The writers on that are good. And the other thing I was going to throw out, and there's probably a lot of people that does watch it, and I think the creators can't keep up with the demand, but I really like Rick and Morty.
You know, how do you binge watch Supernatural?
I mean, you would have
to be there for weeks, months.
Oh God, I think they had 22, 23 shows per season, and they got like 500 seasons. I'm like, whoever they hired to film Supernatural should get on some of these popular shows and spit out more episodes.
Yep.
You know, CW does good at producing shows. I don't like all the shows, but they're financially successful. I mean, they did the Vampire Diaries, which was pretty entertaining. You know?
Yeah, they're not as big as like the other networks, so they're like kind of pretty independent. I mean, not compared to us, they're zillionaires, but they're kind of like they don't have to rely on millions upon millions of people watching the network or a show for it to be successful. For example, Supergirl was taken off CBS because of the ratings, but then it's doing fine on the CW because it doesn't really need that massive amount of people watching it.
That's true. Well, I appreciate you joining me.
Thanks, man.
To start off, I know you're super busy. You're running websites, and
I'm trying.
And if people want to watch your live feeds, where do they go to?
Okay, so listen. Nerd Report is on YouTube. Go there. YouTube channel is where we're hitting. Our Twitch is mostly what we do. We simulcast on Twitch and YouTube nightly. Well, mostly every night at 9 p.m. LA time. Man Monster is always been with me. I was there when Eben created it, I believe. I think that's right. It's a great website. Eben's got some great ideas that haven't even been revealed yet. No. It's like the Disneyland of horror conventions for me. I love it. And I'm glad to finally start to kick in the collaborations with you guys and this beautiful family. And I think horror conventions are the best conventions in the world. Best cosplay, most creative people. and most passionate. And although they're scary because my world, it's the most, it's the mainstream comic book conventions. They do look scary, but they're the nicest people. Trust me, nicest people.
But, so, like, if I went with you to one of them mainstream comic shows,
They love
what
you.
would they say about me?
They love
Yeah.
you. It takes so many pictures. You know why they love what you're doing? Because it's the work you put into it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. It's creative. Now I'm not saying the mainstream comic conventions don't ever create some awesome cosplay or costumes or whatever, or props. But I'm saying it's not as common. When you go to a horror convention, man, you got beautiful women destroying their face, like with blood and all this. But when you go to like Comic-Con, you got like women trying to show off, you know what I mean? Like, it's not really cosplay. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna have to come out there and go to Comic-Con and check it out.
Yeah. I think you love it.
Maybe we shoot
Huh?
Maybe we shoot some joint content. I kidnap.
I got room for you here, man.
But we're gonna go. I appreciate everybody for watching. I appreciate for everybody for participating in the comments. I know we went kind of all over the place with what we're
Doesn't
talking
matter.
about.
That's the funnest ones, and also share the hell out of this.
Yes, share it, like, subscribe. Go to the nerdreport.com. Check Lewis out. I mean, he's got some scoops on some scoops. So if you're not checking them out daily, you're wrong.
Wrong.
But I appreciate you joining in, Lewis. Sergeant Horror for Mad Monster, and we're going to conclude this live. We're out.
Out.